The cup tipped over in seconds. Water rushed across the table, straight onto my study notes. And before I could even react, my little boy froze and whispered, "Mommy, I didn't mean to." He looked terrified, so I told him it was okay. But the moment he walked away, I just stood there staring at the pages, soaked, wrinkled, destroyed. Because those weren't just papers, they were hours of studying after long shifts, sacrifice, exhaustion, tiny pieces of a dream I had been fighting to keep alive since moving to Canada. I remember carrying the wet books to the kitchen, spreading each page out carefully, trying to save whatever I could. As the water dripped from the corners of the paper, I felt something in me break for a moment. It was 2:11 a.m. The whole house was asleep, and there I was, sitting on the kitchen floor alone, overwhelmed, exhausted, and silently wondering if anybody truly understood how hard this journey really was. Because as a new immigrant, a permanent resident in Canada, a mother of four, working full time, trying to rebuild my life from scratch while chasing a dream that refused to let me go. So that night, I rewrote the notes, page by page, line by line, not because it was easy, but because failure simply was not an option for me anymore.
This is how I passed the AFK exams without a course, without shortcuts, without losing my mind or my family. It wasn't coffee. It wasn't prayers alone. It wasn't even intelligence. It was pure survival. Welcome to the journey. Hi, everyone. I'm Ollie, a foreign trained dentist, a mother of four, a dental assistant, a mentor, and the unofficial queen of mnemonics. I moved to Canada as a permanent resident. I didn't join an upgrade course. I didn't have a supervisor guiding me. Everything you hear today is the real, raw process, the one many people don't want to talk about.
The AFK exam is not hard because internationally trained dentists are unintelligent. It's hard because everything about it feels unfamiliar. A different exam culture, a different style of questioning, a different way of thinking. You open the exam blueprint feeling confident, then suddenly you're staring at questions that seem to travel from 1972 all the way to 2023 in one sitting. And then reality hits. This exam is not just testing dentistry, it is testing adaptation. Because AFK is not only about how much you know, it's about how well you understand the Canadian exam mindset. And there are many people quietly struggling, not because they are weak, not because they are lazy, but because they're trying to decode an entirely different system while carrying the weight of immigration, survival, family, finances, and uncertainty. Then comes the noise: Facebook forums, WhatsApp groups, random advice from people who heard from somebody. Everybody suddenly becomes an AFK expert. One person says, read only remembered questions. Another says, don't waste time reading textbook. Then the dramatic Facebook anti appears. My dear, the answer is always C. Don't stress. And somehow, instead of clarity, you become even more confused because half knowledge is dangerous. Sometimes more dangerous than a hypochlorite accident in clinic. This exam does not reward panic. It rewards strategy, understanding, and evidence-based confidence. This is the part nobody tells immigrants early enough.
Please, if you follow Auntie Always See, you would enter Resist by Fire. The exam requires evidence, references, depth, understanding, and commitment.
And coffee. Lots of coffee. The kind of coffee that makes your ancestors vibrate from the other side. Because honestly, when I started preparing for AFK, I had absolutely no direction. None. And the hardest part, it wasn't even the studying, it was life. Because my schedule was madness. Wake up before dawn, pack lunches, get children ready, rush to work, come home exhausted, cook, clean, help with homework, church activities, laundry waiting like a government assignment, immigrant bills, immigrant stress, immigrant silence. Then finally, when the whole house slept, that was when my second life started. Reading under dim kitchen lights, highlighting notes with sleepy eyes, drinking coffee like it was intravenous medication. Some nights I studied so tired I would read one paragraph 5 times and still not know what I just read. And this is the stage many people silently give up, not physically, mentally. They haven't failed the exam yet, but inside themselves, they have already surrendered. But something in me refused to die because deep down I knew one truth. If I did not fight for this dream, nobody was coming to fight it for me.
Let me tell you what I used and what actually worked. NDEB gives you the textbook, NDEB gives you the released questions. These two things, they became my syllabus. The NDEB reference textbooks, those textbooks, yes, the ones some people fear, like they fear calculus, they became my best friends. The release questions were my syllabus, my scheme of work, my curriculum, and my destiny helper. Every question points to a topic. So instead of solving blindly, I went textbook by textbook, question by question. This is where the magic happened. I took every question and traced them back to the reference textbook, not Google, not my friend said, not Facebook Auntie Carol says it's C. I didn't just find the right answers. I found why the other four options were wrong. I created notebooks, then those notebooks became textbook sized. My handwriting, my goodness, even me, I was afraid of me.
Me during AFK preparation was working in a dental clinic. I wasn't just going to work, I was learning every single day. I was taking CBCT scans, assisting a prosthodontist who did everything by the book, helping with infection control, setting up for procedures, and even supporting the front desk team. The clinic also subscribed to dental journals, so whenever I saw an interesting case, I would go home and read more about it. What made the difference was connecting theory to real life. Many times, I would see something in the clinic and think, wait, I just studied this topic. Or I'll be studying at home and realize I actually saw a case like this today. Those experiences made the information stick. Looking back, the clinic became an extension of my classroom, and every day at work became part of my AFK preparation.
How long should you study for the AFK? Let me settle this once and for all and break it down clearly. 3 months, it only works if you're jobless and if you study full time. That is, no job, no kids, no sleep. I'm joking, but kind of not. 6 months, this works for people taking an upgrade course. The structure actually helps you, so it could make it possible. What about 9 months? This is the sweet spot, especially if you have a full time job and if you have children, like me. What about 12 months? This is totally valid. Life happens, kids happen, stress happens. Life is life in, family obligation, there is work, fatigue, and reality. For me, a full time job, 4 kids, 9 to 12 months was more realistic. I refuse to rush and fail. I prefer slow and pass.
Sticky notes were one of my secret weapons. My family probably thought I was decorating the house, but every sticky note had a purpose. The fridge became a study board, the mirror became a revision center, and those tiny summaries and mnemonics helped turn overwhelming textbooks into information I could actually remember on exam day.
I am the queen of mnemonics. I can turn periodontal fibers into a song if I have to. Each revision makes them shorter and more powerful. Not just the right one, understanding why something is wrong. That is gold. By the final month, I summarize all subjects into one A4 sheet. Just one sheet. The kind you got, like your birth certificate. I solved thousands of questions. Thousands. If my Google Sheet could talk, it will cry. I joined late night discussion groups with colleagues, even from back home. Sometimes at 2 a.m. BC time, I was studying. When all my children were fast asleep, that was when my brain woke up. Those discussions helped me massively, not because they gave me answers, but because they gave me clarity. Then, mock exams exposed my weaknesses and forced me to level up. My breakthrough moment wasn't a big moment, it was quiet, it was simple. I wasn't guessing anymore. I wasn't panicking. I was eliminating with confidence. I noticed I could eliminate wrong answers confidently, even when I didn't know the exact right one. My clinical experience suddenly started connecting. CBCT images I saw in the clinic looked exactly like AFK radiographs. My prosto boss's lectures relayed in my head like YouTube ads. I knew I was ready. Confidence started replacing fear. For the first time, I thought, I might actually pass this thing. This is when I transformed into exam mode mommy. I shifted into sniper mode. I created drawings, charts, one page summaries, mnemonics, short notes, repetition, confidence building, speed practice. This is where many people panic, but this is where your earlier work starts to pay off. Repetition became my oxygen. At this point, I protected my peace like it was gold. Light revision only, no panic reading, no trying to learn a whole textbook in 3 days. I organized my exam day logistics. I prayed, I meditated, I ate well, and went to bed early. And I never ever opened my books without praying. Lord, open my brain like the Red Sea. I woke up early. I was nervous, but I was ready. And when I saw the NDEB interface, my heart did. Beep, beep. I used elimination for uncertain questions. I stayed calm. I paced myself. And when I clicked submit, it felt like I had run a marathon barefoot. My soul left my body for 2 seconds. My family danced. My heart settled. Months of sacrifice finally made sense because every sacrifice, every spilled note, every 2 a.m. study calls, every sticky note, every prayer was worth it. If I could do it again, I will start earlier. I will build a study tribe sooner. I would have backup plans for my books because water spill trauma is real. And I will take more breaks without guilt. Please hear me. Take this from someone who survived the assessment for fundamental knowledge. Make your own notes. Read widely. Be evidence based. Avoid naysayers. Build a dream team. Seek accountability. Don't compare. Don't give up even after your first attempt. If you're not a PR or if you're outside of Canada, plan your visa early. Give yourself time. Stay away from naysayers. 9 to 12 months is realistic. You can do this. If you want guidance, mentorship, mock exams, or strategy, check out my channel, License Ready with Ollie. Subscribe. I've been helping foreign trained dentists for years, and I want you to succeed too. Nothing worth achieving comes easy. Your dream is valid. Your journey, it matters. And if I could do this, full-time worker, mother of four, immigrant, exhausted, overwhelmed, then you, my fellow dental warrior, you can do even more. Start scared, start small, just start.
License ready with a level up and go.